This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome to the Special Chronicles podcast. My name is Daniel Spikowski. I'm the founder and host of Special Chronicles and a Southern Shriver Global Messenger alum with Special Olympics. So excited to be back on the program. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives, follow us on socials, and all that. This week on the Special Chronicles podcast, our guest is Daniel Block, a Special Olympics athlete from New York and New Jersey, and an official who has autism, to talk about his Special Olympics athlete and becoming a sport official and overcoming challenges with autism. Please put your virtual hands together as we welcome Daniel on not myself, the guest name, who has the same name, if that makes sense. Please put your virtual hands as we welcome Daniel Block on the Special Chronicles podcast. Welcome, Daniel.
How's it going?
Good to have you on the program. And we, for those of you listening, if you want to watch the pre-show, we've got about a 10-minute pre-show, and you can see what it took us to get the camera set up and all that. All that, where we break down the fourth wall. You can join. You listening can join right now, specialchronicles.com/plus for just $10 a month, or really any donation, but $10 a month and up. You can see that bonus content. With that, I told you when we jumped on that we were just in. It's just going to be a conversation, and first, I want to start out by saying it, and I guess it's also a note to our listeners as well, is that it took us forever, and I mean forever, to get you booked on the podcast. And I had another guest who's also, I'm in Illinois here, and I had a mom a mom and daughter who her daughter was also an athlete in Illinois, and it took them as well forever to be on the podcast, because I got connected with, I was interacting with them on Twitter. It's now X, but on Twitter, like many years ago, and it finally this past spring had them on, and so I think it's the same thing with you. We got connected on social media. I think you,
Facebook.
Yeah, you went into our DMs on Facebook. So for those of you that want to get connected with us, specialchronicles.com for links to follow us on social media, and know that if it takes a while, it's a very, very small staff, meaning mostly my dad and me. I've got a volunteer producer, but a very, very, very small staff here at Special Chronicles, and it is trying to manage so much here. Couple different jobs, competing in a couple of sports in Special Olympics myself. And so it finally, I'm glad we're able to have you on. But take.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I know it's so, and I guess this is now another lesson for those of you listening. If you reach out to us on social media, be patient, because we can't have all of you on. But we will do our best to, if you reach out to us and tell us your story, we will look to have you on at some point. And I honestly don't even know when this episode is going to air. So but we will. I will talk with my producer, and we'll take a look at our production schedule and see when this episode will air. I can tell you, it probably is not going to air till probably December, only because I've got one series that is with one of our sponsors that is airing this month of August. I've got a season 2 of a inclusive health series that will be airing in September, hopefully. As hopefully we the plan is to get that recorded by the end of the month. And then we've got a unified work series which focuses on inclusive employment that will be in October. And then we've got some other content that is currently in the works for November. So, long story short, I believe your episode is not going to air till December, but that's just because that's how booked we are.
Hey, that's no problem. All I know is I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to tell my story.
Absolutely. So why don't you in that introduction, I shared a little bit about how we got connected, but why don't you share before we get to your story, in your own words, share how we got connected, how you found out about Special Chronicles and this podcast, and how, in your own words, how we got connected.
So, I look at social media all the time with Special Olympics and all. After my adventures with Special Olympics last year, I wanted to tell my story of how, I'm the only special needs official in my town, and also an athlete. I found out about Special Chronicles podcast about a couple months after the World Games took place. Now, Daniel, I was actually at the World Games last year.
The last World Games in Berlin?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And so how exactly did you find out about Special Chronicles again?
I found out through social media. I saw that there was an opportunity for me to tell my story, so I reached out.
Awesome. Yeah, I was there as a Southern Shriver Global Messenger, so I was one of 10 athlete leaders in the highest athlete leadership role for the movement. One of 10 athletes across the globe that was there as an athlete spokesperson at those World Games.
You probably missed me by a little bit.
I did.
I was refereeing to soccer.
No. We're gonna get into your story in a little bit, but what sport were you an official?
Football, 7-a-side.
Football. So I don't. What in Berlin? What venue? Where was the?
Maifeld.
Where?
Maifeld.
Is that by the Olympic Stadium in Berlin? Or? Yeah. So I don't think I got over there just because my schedule was so jam-packed. But yeah.
I had a feeling. I mean, it's a big event.
Of
course, with your position, you're going to be busy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So were you at the opening? Did you walk in the opening ceremony, or were you in the stands? Or
I was in the stands actually.
Awesome.
I wish I could have been part of opening ceremonies.
Yeah. So we were on stage with our chairman Tim Shriver, and then this is the first time that we actually got to walk in with not our own delegation, but with another delegation. Did we run across? Just because I meet so many people, so it's hard to keep track of who I met. But did we run across each other in Berlin?
No, unfortunately, honestly, I wish we could have, because It would have been a fun time too.
It would have been, yeah. So, okay, so yes, so you, it was when you got back from Berlin that you found out about Special Chronicles, and awesome. And so then you reached out, and I know I try to reply to messages, but it's hard for me to reply to. I
mean, you're busy with United, so
yeah,
I totally get it.
Yeah, it's very hard. But I do. Luckily, I've got a very, very, very small team that helps me to look at those messages. So yeah. So anyways, so this is the first time that we are meeting virtually face to face.
Yeah.
Hopefully someday we can. Hopefully I just speaking of because you're in New York and New Jersey. I see that you've got for those watching the video podcast on YouTube, they see that you have a Mets right behind you. So I'm assuming that you are in New York, but then you're also with New Jersey. Is that right?
So I'm a Staten Islander. I'm an athlete official for New York, and I'm just an official for New Jersey.
Awesome. So let's so this is the first time that we met, and usually sometimes I have a pre-show. So I think my dad is actually headed out right now to go play racquetball. So I just no, it's all good. I'm sure he'll lock the door. The door is on the other side of the studio here, and so there's the hallway. So I can. So there's only two of us here, but I bet you he's gonna pop in. It happens. Oh no, he didn't pop his head into. So sometimes he pops his head into the studio. Oh, maybe he is. I honestly don't know.
I can see that happening.
I don't want to edit. I honestly don't want to edit anything out. Okay, anyways, because that's realistic. Okay, so let's kind of circle back now to. So this is how we got connected, and sometimes I like to try to have a pre-show, but in this case, oh yeah, I remember what I was going to say. So you're in New York and New Jersey, and one of the big fundraising events, fundraising and awareness events that United Airlines, which is a global partner of Special Olympics, one of the big events that they sponsor is the plane pull events, where you pull a plane. And I just okay, this is perfect timing. I just got let me see if I can pull it up here on my phone, because I'm on a Bridge Disability Business Resource Group, and I was looking at I got a message in one of the Teams chats. I was actually looking. I'm a little delayed. They sent this message yesterday, but the dates usually 2 to 3 plane pulls. I mean, this is before the pandemic. There was a lot more, but since the pandemic, there's only been like 2 to 3 the past few years. But now I just got the dates, and actually, by the time you all are listening, by the time our listeners are listening to this right now, this would have happened. This would have already happened in the past. So, anyways, but okay. So I'm going to tell you. But okay. So our listeners can take a time machine and go back. Can go back to the future or back to the past. So Special Olympics Colorado in Denver. It's happening on August 24th. In Washington, Dallas, Special Olympics Virginia is on to September 14th. In Special Olympics Ohio, in Cleveland, it's happening on September 28th. In Newark, which is Special Olympics New Jersey, it's happening on August 5th. And also in Chicago, Special Olympics Illinois is also October 5th. So I kind of joked. New Jersey and Illinois, Newark and Chicago are going to have to compete against each other for the plane bowl. So that's a little fun. I don't know if you knew that you had a plane bowl happening in Newark, New Jersey.
So I was away, unfortunately, so I missed it. And maybe there is a chance if United has it happen again next year, we meet up at one.
Yeah, well, you know what? Actually, it could still happen this year, October 5th. It's only a couple months away. So, I'll sweat it because I'm friends with our Washington Chief pilot, and I actually, my girlfriend, who's also an athlete, we flew out to Washington, Dallas to join that plane pool. I'll talk to some people, and I don't know if I can, just because October is a busy month. I don't know if I can make it out. Technically it's the same day as, you know what? Scratch that. Maybe next year. You know what? Let's now that you have my phone number and we're in touch, let's circle back in next year, and hopefully it's not on the same day as my plane pool here. I was gonna be like, maybe this year I could fly out, but it's the same day, and my manager has a team for us, and I can't. Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Oh, of course.
So I can't really let my my own program down.
I would love to meet you in person.
Yeah.
I would love to meet you in person.
You know what? Let's actually, maybe. You know what? I know United is going to hire other Special Olympics athletes in the future. Potentially even in Newark, New Jersey. I don't know when, and so I don't want to speak without. Anyways, let's say we're in touch. If I hear that Newark, New Jersey is going to hire any Special Olympics athletes to work as service ambassadors, maybe I can recommend you.
I would appreciate that.
You know
Thank
what?
you.
Because it's a part-time job with full-time benefits. We'll probably get an off-topic now, but you know what?
No, you're good. You're good.
Let's be in touch. And in fact, I might even edit out a clip of this. So here, this is your chance. Okay, if anyone at United, because trust me, I was just at an internal conference last week at United's headquarters, and I was sitting at a table, and I fans, listeners to this podcast were coming up to me, and so I know that those people at United Airlines who listen. So if there's somebody at United Airlines that's listening, and they're going to hire a Special Olympics athlete in Newark, New Jersey, why should they hire you to work at United Airlines?
Well, I would start with I'm hardworking. I love learning new stuff. I'm a fast learner. I'm very sociable. You could tell that. But I love going out and about. Customer service is my thing. Funny enough, currently I work at a Dave & Buster's.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I sell game cards, so I'm always dealing with people. As a referee, I'm dealing with people. As an umpire, I'm dealing with people. And I love it. I would love to work for United if I had the opportunity.
Awesome. I made a note of that timestamp. I'm going to try to pull out that clip, and I'm going to try to share it with some people at United Airlines. I can't make any promises. I am not. I personally do not work in human resources, but I know the head of, I know the executive who's in charge of human resources. I know some people, so I can't make any promises, but I will share this clip with them, this podcast. Okay, anyways, I
appreciate that.
Let's now circle back and have you introduce yourself. Share with our listeners what disability you were diagnosed with, and tell us a little bit about your family.
Okay, so I'm a 27-year-old from Staten Island, New York. I have Asperger's syndrome, now called autism spectrum disorder. And I live with my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my grand.
Awesome.
And the dog as well. Hamilton, English Springer Spaniel.
Awesome. And so, share with us now a little bit about what are the challenges because of your disability, because of your autism. What are some of the challenges in your daily life?
I think basically being understood. You know, it's just when you're doing something right and you think you're doing something right and the person interprets it wrong, it ends up bad in your favor. And so I think that's one huge challenge for me. There's another challenge where it's hard to drive for me. I could travel by public transit. I could do Uber travel by plane, but I can't drive. Mm-hmm. I'm not cognizant to drive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
I'm not able to have that reactionary.
All right, good. As you know, so challenges is not the focus of this podcast. Our challenges, our disabilities, it's not the focus of Special Olympics. But instead, it's the joys and accomplishments. So share with the listeners what are the joys and accomplishments because of your disability, because of your autism. What are the joys and accomplishments?
So I did graduate high school with a Regents diploma. Did I spend a year in college? Yes. I referee. I umpire. I referee youth soccer. I was lucky enough to referee Special Olympics a couple times. Mm-hmm. Do the USA Games as an umpire for softball in Disney in 2022. I was lucky enough to be in Detroit for the Unified Cup, which I hope they bring back because it was an awesome time.
You know what?
And now it's 2022.
I know the chief sport and competition officer at Special Olympics International. So, you know what? I will see if I can try to have him back on the. His name is Lou. I'll try to see.
Lou is a good guy. I have to reconnect with him because I need to tell him it was a great time.
You know Lou as well. Okay, yeah. So, you know what? I will try to have Lou has been on the podcast a couple of times in the past. I'll try to have Lou back on the podcast and see if we can get the inside scoop on where the next Unified Cup is going to be.
I would love to. And if anything, I know FIFA is against this. Ref cam.
Ooh. All right.
I want to wear a camera on my body so people can see a vantage viewpoint from what the referee sees.
That's a good. You know what? Let's talk with Lou and see what if they can make that happen. I would love to do it. If it's possible. Yeah. Let's and you know what? You know what we also could do is, I don't know if you know anyone on the U.S. Athlete Leadership Council, but maybe we can bring that up. Maybe we can bring that up to that. So
I would love to maybe sit in a meeting.
Yeah, so send me a text, and I know one of the other athlete leaders in Illinois is actually on the USALC. I will send me a text and remind me, and I can bring that up and see if see what we can do. Anyways, we're going to just take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into Daniel Block's Special Olympics story coming up right here on SpecialChronicles.com. Just want to let you all know, support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. Please join our supporters with a monthly or one-time donation to help us operate our studio. and our mission, giving respect and voice to those of us like Daniel and myself with disabilities. You can also be, if you want to see where we break down that fourth wall and see the behind the scenes of what it was like for us to get the cameras set up on for the podcast today. You can join our Special Chronicles Plus to access our bonus content, specialchronicles.com/plus. For just $10 a month and up, you can join right now. Join right now. We want you all to join specialchronicles.com/plus for just $10 a month. And you can also, by doing that, you also support this podcast. With that, I probably went a little too long on the sponsor break, but who cares? It's. I'm trying to get a show. Anyways, trying to get a show on that. Okay. Anyways, my team is gonna love that. They're always telling me to take these sponsor breaks a little shorter. Somehow, 16 years later, I'm still on the air, and yeah. 16 years later and 25,000 downloads later, I'm still on the air. People still
drop the mic on that one. Mic drop.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't want to drop this mic, but yeah. I am somehow 16 years later, I'm still behind the microphone, and yes. Okay. Anyways, it is. I have to say this. I don't know if you are aware, but I think the Special Chronicles podcast is the first and longest running Special Olympics athlete-led podcast. So that's pretty big for this podcast.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's amazing.
The first and longest running. I'll say that again for all of you listening. The Special Chronicles podcast is the first and longest running Special Olympics athlete-led podcast. I actually made a little banner. I'll have to send it to you with a QR code where people can listen and follow. I'll send it to you, and if you wanna post it up in your where you work or in your community at coffee shops or anywhere in New York and New Jersey, I'll send you this banner, and we can we can do that. Anyways, with that, how did you first become a Special Olympics athlete, and what sports? I know you said that you are an official with football, which for those of you listening, we mean soccer, but
it's soccer. It's soccer on the American side.
But it's honestly, we don't have American football in Special Olympics, so I think it's safe to we all know what I know what you mean. Our listeners should know what we mean by football.
That's true.
By football. Okay. Anyways, so share with us, how did you become a Special Olympics athlete, and what sports do you compete in?
So you'd be surprised, and don't get me wrong, you'd be surprised. I bowl.
Wow.
I participate in bowling. I've been bowling all my life. My high game is at 279. My high series, which is very close to 300. Stinking 10-pin, but that's besides. My high series is a 709 out of 3 games. But that was sanctioned United States Bowling Congress.
Yeah.
I've been refereeing Special Olympics for at least 3 years now.
Wow. At least 3 years. Wow.
At least 3 years of officiating Special Olympics. Let's see. Local competition, USA Games, Unified Cup, and the World Games last year.
What were those? Can you say those sports again? What were those sports?
So, I did the bowling. I'm an athlete in bowling, and an athlete in soccer.
Awesome. And do you still compete? And do you still compete in those sports today?
I do.
So take our listeners back, like, how did you first become a Special Olympics athlete? How and when? When? Because I know, like for me, I've been competing a little bit over 20 years now. I had a lot more hair. One of my friends we've got this big fundraising event that just took place last week, and he had emailed me a picture where I had a lot more hair back then. So, just like me, like don't have a lot of hair right now. But when, how were you first introduced to Special Olympics, and when did you first start competing?
I believe I was 12 years old. Oh. And I started with bowling. You know Dougie Patterson, right?
I'm not exactly sure.
He's an athlete from Special Olympics New York.
The only other Special Olympics New York athlete that I know is Katie Sanchez. Do you know Katie?
I do know Katie. Katie got me involved with it too.
Also, so fun. We're gonna go on just a small little tangent, but fun. Okay, so fun little fact about Katie. So, I'll backtrack in just a quick moment, but a fun little fact about Katie. She's written a few blogs on SpecialChronicles.com. So on our platform, she's written a few blogs for us. But I first met Katie at the World Games in Los Angeles back in 2015. It was at the final leg of the torch run, and somebody from the Knights of Columbus had helped to sponsor it, and he drove me around. I stayed at his house. I was producing a daily podcast, and so I went into Katie at the final leg of the torch run at the World Games, and little did I know, when I went up to Katie, she knew who I was. She knew about Special Chronicles, and I probably shouldn't be. And even still today, when I'm at events, people come up and they know me. They know about Special Chronicles. So that's just a little fun fact about Katie. Anyways, so we'll have to share this podcast with her. But yeah, anyways, go on. I forgot where we left off.
I'm talking about Doug Patterson.
Oh yeah, okay.
So Doug, great friend of mine, fellow Special Olympian, always participates in the torch run from Staten Island, New York. He got me. He and I are teammates with bowling in Staten Island. Mm-hmm. Dougie went to the USA Games last year, 2022. Excuse me.
Yeah.
He's a track person. Does running, a lot of running.
Do you? Another quick translate. Just a couple of the athletes I know. Do you know John Cronin from John's Crazy Socks? He and his dad.
Cronin, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, you know John, okay, and his John's Crazy Socks business that he has with his dad. Okay, and then do you know? So John and his dad have been on this podcast a couple of times. I met up with him at the International Torch Run Conference. Did not get a picture with him because sometimes I'm not good at taking pictures at events. But anyways, also there's another New York athlete, Trent Hampton. Do you know Trent?
I don't know Trent. I know Omar. So
Trent is a triathlon athlete who was featured in a documentary film that I've been a story consultant and advisor on. Anyways, so at least two out of three New York Special.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 that we both mutually know. Okay, all right. Let's just, for the sake of time, we're gonna kind of move on here. Why did you want to become involved in this movement? Why do you want to become involved in the Special Olympics movement?
So, personally, based on the fact that I'm an athlete, and personally based on the fact that I officiate at the same time, being that I don't. So I'm working on a project based on convincing people with disabilities, persons of disabilities in this case, to become officials, referees, umpires.
I love the idea. In Illinois, we don't have that many officials. You know what? And even after we're off air, I'm gonna have to get you connected with one of our other athlete leaders in Illinois who is on the U.S. Athlete Leadership Council, and maybe, you know what? Yeah, so we'll have to stay in touch because I think if I can get you connected with our U.S. Athlete Leadership Council, I think that they might be able to at least help you all. Okay. Anyways,
I would love that help. Honestly, I would love that help because I want to see people like myself, maybe more disabilities, to get on the field for extra time. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And
stay active
it's
in the community.
and just like so at the local level, for a lot of you, or even at the a national, international level, you have to qualify or you get selected. And yes, I mean a lot of people, a lot of us will compete at like the local, regional level, but not a lot of people advance to either the state level or the national level, international.
It's impossible.
And yet, through athlete leadership roles, such as whether you're an athlete spokesperson, a Southern Shriver Global Messenger, a health messenger, or a sport official, in your case, or an athlete coach, all these other roles are other ways.
Forgot it.
Yeah, all other ways that we can be involved in the movement. So, before we quickly get to becoming an official, backtrack a little bit to athlete leadership. How do you get involved in athlete leadership? Because your involvement as an official, as a sport official for football, you said, is one of the athlete leadership roles that we have in this movement. So how did you get involved in athlete leadership, and why did you want to get involved in athlete leadership?
So I will tell you this. I've never applied for a council.
Mm-hmm.
I've never actually took a chance at being part of some kind of organized
training,
participation or training. But I will tell you this. As an official that's also an athlete, it's my mission to open the eyes of other athletes that can't make it to the state level games or the USA games or the world games. There's another way you could do it. It's become an official, become a coach, or if you can't become a coach, become an official, really.
Yeah.
And so I've always thought of myself as a good leader, and having that, I kind of ref when I can when I'm not on the off season from bowling,
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I've always thought of becoming a leader.
Awesome.
I've wanted to take a leadership role.
Awesome.
Recently, I contacted my state organization. By the way, just for the record,
Which is
I'm applying to become an athlete leadership council member.
awesome. And in which, because since you're represented in two state programs
in
New York, okay. Awesome. And I see that you've got the Mets behind you, so I'm assuming that that's your preferred baseball team, right?
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, I'm a Mets fan.
Okay. So for those of you listening, if you prefer a different team, then put your kind comments below. So, if you're watching this episode on YouTube, put your kind comments. Or if you're listening on Spotify, put your kind comments in the comments. Okay. Just a quick break, and then we'll transition quickly to the final couple segments, which is about becoming an official. And then, so stay tuned. Right here with Daniel Block, right here on Special Chronicle. What? No, I am sorry. It's... I believe it or not, I usually only have coffee in the morning, but I had a cup of coffee at the end of my shift today, right? And one of my coworkers was asking, so by having coffee at 3 in the afternoon means you're going to be up. And I was trying to tell them, well, the reason why I'm having coffee at 3 in the afternoon is because I've got a podcast to record. And so I didn't want to, because I don't know if you see, Daniel, or you probably don't see, there's nobody else in the studio. I've got a mixer in front of me. Like, if I fall asleep, then if you won't talking, there's going to be... yeah, like, it's there's nobody else to...
I'll tell you what. I don't drink coffee, but I have this much energy.
Awesome. So with that, let's just take a quick break to let you all know that support for Special Chronicles comes from the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program, the country's first energy and solar efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And support for Special Chronicles comes from United Airlines Bridge Disability Business Resource Group, connecting people of all abilities. Learn more on United's commitment to disability inclusion for employment and travel at specialchronicles.com/United, including hiring now 18 Special Olympics athletes who are full employees at United Airlines as service ambassadors. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/United. You know what? I need to update that graphic. I just got a new headshot at work that I just took last week. That is not wearing a mask, and so I need to
update.
Like,
yeah,
I just got an updated headshot this afternoon, so I need to. For those of you listening. I'm not going to edit this.
Who is that masked Avenger there?
What? What?
Who is that masked Avenger there?
Yeah. Who's wearing that mask? That was that picture where the graphics team at United put that together, and believe it or not, folks, I do have a maskless pictures. Okay, so let's go on. So you told us about one of the reasons why you wanted to get involved in athlete leadership is to get more Special Olympics athletes to become sport officials. I mean, of course, athletes as coaches, but in your case, officials, whether
officials.
Whether they're a referee or whether they're an official for football or any sport. I mean, my main sport is basketball. I just started bocce as well. But anyways, besides, so really any sport. But how did you become an official in Special Olympics?
So funny enough, I'll go through a quick timeline for you. 2016, I became a U.S. soccer referee out of Staten Island, New York. Staten Island Soccer Referee Association. 2017, I became a baseball umpire. 2018, I got USA softball certified. 2019, still there. 2019, I'm doing flag football, NFL flag. 2020, COVID hit. Obviously, we were going to have a sideline there. 2021, I applied to umpire the New York State Games, Special Olympics. That was a lot of fun for softball. 2022, I got the USA Games softball, and then the rest is history with 2022 Unified Cup and 2023 World Games.
Awesome.
I'm going to take you with me because I'm going to take you with me so I can show you my closet of uniforms.
Awesome. So for those that are just listening to the audio podcast, if you're listening to only to the audio podcast, go check out the video podcast on YouTube, specialchronicles.com. Click on watch to find out how to watch this episode on YouTube. Because this is an episode that you're going to want to watch on YouTube to get an exclusive look at Daniel's uniforms as an official. So we will...
We'll be there in a second.
In a second, we will bring you that on camera here. This is...
Give me a second. I'm just organizing some stuff.
Oh, no, it's okay. And hopefully, so you guys get an inside look into Daniel's closet of what uniforms look like if you're an official in Special Olympics. The video froze a little, Daniel, so I don't know if we can unfreeze the video. I'm not...
Yep, all good.
Okay. The video is still frozen. We just see... Oh, no.
Give me a second.
No, it's... When you are going
there we
mobile...
go.
Okay, so he is...
You see me?
I see you.
I'm still in my room right now.
Okay.
I'm going to just turn it around.
And so
What do you think?
we see the cloud. Yeah. It's a little... So it's a bunch of...
That's my umpire's uniform?
Wait, so can you bring a couple off the hanger to kind of show our viewers? So, and I'm going to try to describe it for those of you listening to the audio podcast. I'm going to describe it.
So we've got the...
USA softball, which is a navy... It looks like a navy blue.
It is a navy blue with a light blue trim.
All right. And
I'm going to go into one of my drawers right now because I'm going to get you the soccer uniform.
And the football uniform, is that what you is that what you the official uniform that you had in Berlin at the World Games?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
So this is going to be
Second.
now. I wish I was over in at the football venue.
I think you should have.
I know.
In all seriousness.
My schedule is so busy.
In all seriousness, me and Garrett Utz, if you know Garrett very well. Garrett's from the state of Washington. Me and him were one of two U.S. soccer referees with disabilities.
Awesome.
Going to the World Games.
And we've got just.
So I'm going to show you my high school uniform.
Okay.
Because I work high school soccer as well.
Okay, awesome. And we've got just a few minutes left in the program, so just we are going to have to cut it off in just a few minutes. So
I gotcha. All right, let's forget the soccer.
Okay,
but you get the idea.
Yeah, we get the idea. So anyways, what can you share with us what you do as an official? What's kind of like and maybe use football or soccer as an example.
So, as a soccer official, for example, and I'm sorry, my phone's off the stand.
No worries. As long as
as a soccer official, we're especially on game days, we're always checking the ball pressure, checking the nets, checking the players, of course. Got to issue the cards, yellow and red. Red means dismissed, ejection, disqualification. Yellow is a sanctioning for something you did wrong and you're close to a red, and then you could give verbal warning as well.
Awesome. And why did you want to become an official? If there was a special athlete that's listening in right now, and they want to get more involved in this movement and in other worlds. What would you tell them of why you became an official? Because that might motivate another athlete out there. But why did you want to become an official?
So I think it'd be a cool way to see officials with disabilities. Athletes, if you're thinking of becoming an official, do it. It'll give you more time on the field. It'll give you, actually, personally, Special Olympics will give you more time in the field. When you're refereeing for U.S. soccer or becoming a baseball umpire, you're making money.
Awesome.
And you get opportunities to travel too, and all that. Discounts on almost anything.
Awesome.
Like hotel stays, travel cars, anything.
Awesome.
Get insurance and everything.
Awesome. Well, as we come to a close in just a few minutes, we want to let all of you listening in, if you want to get involved in your local Special Olympics program, whether you're where I am located in Illinois, or in either New York or New Jersey, where Daniel Block is located, or wherever you're listening in, whatever state in the U.S. or whatever country you're listening in from. If you want to connect with your local Special Olympics program, head on over to specialolympics.org and find your local program to get involved in. specialolympics.org and on there you can find your local program, your local office, to get involved. With that, do you have any before we get into the final question, do you have any final thoughts on your overall time here today that you'd like to share with our listeners?
I would like to say, Daniel, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been a real pleasure to be on the show, to share my story. I want every listener and every athlete to know there is a place for you. No matter when you can't make the state games or the USA games, circumvent yourself to become an official, a coach, whatever, but mainly become an official so that way you can keep the games going.
Awesome.
Trust me, becoming an official is a lot of fun. And I've been doing it for 9 years.
Awesome. Well, we've got one final question that we're going to wrap up with, but let's go ahead and we got a bumper. So let's go ahead and roll that bumper.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference. Difference. Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our shared humanity.
We will not stop or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution
is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
And ever since I attended the 2019 Special Olympics World Games in Abu Dhabi, the first time the World Games were in the UAE region, I've been asking all the guests one final question, and so I'll do the same with you, Daniel. As you know, the inclusion revolution is a big message in this movement in Special Olympics. It's also important here at Special Chronicles, and so we'll conclude with asking you, what does inclusion mean to you?
Giving someone a chance when you think they can do it, give them the positivity and chances when no one else will give them that chance.
Awesome. Perfect way to wrap up this episode, Daniel. I wish we had more time, but we are running a little short on time. So for
I had fun with you, Daniel.
It was. And we'll have to have you back on the program in the future. Maybe even someday in person. Maybe I'll have to fly out to the East Coast sometime. Maybe not.
Or we can meet at a game sometime.
Oh, yeah. Or at a game. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to be in touch. If you are listening and you want to support this podcast and access our bonus content, specialchronicles.com/plus. For just $10 a month and up, you can support this podcast and get access our bonus content, specialchronicles.com/plus. You can shop our merchandise store. We have our Disabled Voices Metal line of merch. Daniel, you can head on over there to specialchronicles.com/shop is where you all can go. 60% of the profits will go back to Special Chronicles. We have t-shirts, hoodies, and all that. Tap that follow button on Apple Podcasts. Go ahead. Daniel and I will wait for you. When you all go and tap that follow button right now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, new episodes drop every Monday right here on specialchronicles.com. So until then, go subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on socials and all that, and we'll be back right here, same place, same time on specialchronicles.com. So until then, have a great week, and we'll talk to you all next week right here on specialchronicles.com. Talk to you next week. Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smikowski on the Special. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smikowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Adam Smukowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smukowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Oh, whoops. So, are we still recording?
Yes.
We're still sorry, I wasn't paying
All good.
I wasn't paying attention there. We're keeping this all in. Talk to you guys all next week. Bye.